welcome once again to Let's Talk Marriage. This is Pastor Larry coming to you this Wednesday afternoon with Let's Talk Marriage. All right. We're going to get right on into our program. I hope everyone is doing well. If you woke up this morning, you are doing well. All right, we're going to get right on into our program. Today, we're going to be talking about keys to a stronger marriage. And some of the excerpts I've taken or from a article by Dr. Joyce Myers, and some of the things she was talking about in a marriage, keys to a successful or keys to a stronger marriage. We're going to be talking about uh, communication is one of the first keys that we're going to be talking about. And we've talked about communication on the program several different times about communication because it's so important, and it's so important even in life. Communication is important. And let me tell you, there's no one that really has or have excellent communication or communication without any flaws. There's no one that has that, but we strive to have that perfect communication by continually working on it. Communication is something that you have to continually work on. Even in the ministry, as being part of the ministry, I find that communication is important, even in your messages. As a minister, you have to know how to communicate. Is very important in life, and it's very important in any walk of life. Is important. And what Dr. Joyce Meyer says, she says, working through things with your spouse is a natural part of life. There are times when we will need to discuss something that was said or done or talk through a situation. Uh, where we're not seen eye to eye. But when and how we do it makes a difference. And we've mentioned that several times on this show as well, or about timing. It's all in your timing. And sometimes just because you have the truth does not mean it's time for it to be said. And I've said several times on our program that the truth should not hurt you, but it should help you. The truth is not there to hurt anyone; it's there to help you. Helping someone and hurting someone is two different things. And a lot of times you use uh, the truth to hurt someone to get back at them. It might be what you're saying might totally be the truth, but it might not be the time to present it or bring it up or mention it. It's all in your timing. And this is what Dr. Joyce Meyer says: timing is extremely important in good communication. Let me repeat that. Timing is extremely important in good communication. This is what Dr. Joyce Meyer says. Also, Ecclesiastes 3 and 7 says, there is a time to speak and a time to be silent. There's a time to talk about a problem and a time to leave it alone. Sometimes you have to leave something alone. If it's not that time, let it go. Uh, look to bring it up at another time, at a proper time when it's allowed. Because sometimes you can do more damage bringing up something or trying to fix something. You can do more damage trying to fix something by bringing it up instead of being silent. Because sometimes you don't have to bring up everything. Uh, I learned early on that one of the most oh, let me go back here. There's a time to talk about a problem and a time to leave it alone. Okay, we said that. I learned early on that one of the most spiritual things I could do is keep my mouth shut. I like that. Let me repeat that. I learned early on that one of the most spiritual things I could do is keep my mouth shut. That is so true. Sometimes what's on you, you can't just say what's on your mind. Oh, it's on my mind. I got to get this off of my chest. Sometimes you need to leave it on your chest. Leave it on your mind. I'm gonna give you a piece of my mind. No, because usually when you say that, you are already starting out the wrong way. You got the wrong attitude. You're gonna say the wrong thing. So a lot of times it's best just to leave things alone. That doesn't mean you should never talk about an issue, but you should look for the right time to discuss the topic if you want to be well received. That's so true. Even within a situation where when in a situation when you're a minister, you have to have the right timing in order for your message to be received. Because if no one is receiving your message, you're not getting it out. And in order for you to get it out or to help someone, it has to be received. If it's not receiving, or if no one is receiving it, you're not helping anyone. And it's the same that goes for the same in a marriage. If you're saying something that's not being received, it's not going to help the marriage. It's not going to make the marriage stronger. Uh, Let me repeat that part that she said, that this doesn't mean you should never talk about an issue. That doesn't mean you shouldn't talk about the issue. Just all in the time. You have to pick the right time to bring it up and to discuss it. But you should look for the right time to discuss the topic if you want to be well received. And she also says, she encouraged you have a habit of asking the Lord what you should do. And we've said that several times on the program as well. You should talk to the Lord about it when you have a something, especially if it's a serious matter that you need to discuss with your spouse. You don't want to let it escalate into an argument or a strong disagreement. So you might want to, go to the Lord and say, I want to present this to him. How should I do it? And the Lord will help you along the way to learn to be a better communicator. Uh, Similarly, all your communications with your spouse, I think it's a good to ask yourself, and am I doing this in love? What are my motives? Am I asking for a solution, or am I really just trying to win? That's very, very important. What are your motives for the topic that you want to bring up? Or what are your motives for the community, what you're trying to communicate to your spouse? Are you doing it out of love? Are you doing it out of spite? Or are you trying to get back at them? That's why we talked about on the program many times also that you should close chapters from previous relationships, because a lot of times you'll use what you had to use in a previous relationship in a new relationship, and it doesn't always work. Like, for instance, if you had to be on guard all the time in your last relationship, you're going to bring that over into the new relationship if you never close that. And you think every time you uh, have a discussion or trying to communicate with your spouse, you would think that you'll think that you have to be on the defense all the time. You think that you want to get the best of it. So you have to ask yourself, what you're communicating, are you doing it out of love, or are you just doing it to get back at a person or to win an argument? So you have to think about things like that in our communication. The Bible also says that love covers a multitude of sin. If our motives are right and our spouse can really tell our desire is to walk in love, it goes a long ways. If you say it in love, it's all in your delivery. We talked about that a lot of times in the program. And I even had messages. I believe I had a message once before. It's all in your delivery. It's all in how you communicate. It's all in how you do anything in life. But for instance, if you go in the store and you get bad customer service, how do you respond? Do you respond negatively, or do you respond with a concern in your voice that you got, bad service, and you like the place and you would like to come back, or do you yell at the clerk, or or do you immediately ask to speak to the manager with the attitude, and I don't have to shop here, and that's how it is communicating in a marriage. Sometimes you want to be heard, and if everybody is trying to be heard, nobody's going to be heard. Or if someone is talking at the same time, communication is receiving and listening when you're communicating. Sometimes you try to communicate something, and both of you are talking at the same time. No one is going to get anywhere because you're going to try to out talk the other one. So you have to learn. We have to learn how to communicate. And again, communication. No one is a perfect communicator. No one. I've never met a perfect communicator. There are some people that'll come close to being a perfect communicator, but there's no, I've never met a perfect communicator. But we work toward being a perfect communicator. Jesus was an excellent communicator. He communicated things with his disciples, and communication is a lot of times and there's a lot of teaching involved, or a lot of instructions involved when communicating. We're going to be talking about listening as well, but right now we're talking about communicating. And when you're communicating with someone, you listen to what they have first before you speak about what you have on your heart or what's on your mind. And when we're communicating with each other, things can go so much smoother. But again, you have to pick the right time to have those discussions, especially if it's a serious discussion. And even with our children, we have to pick the right time to communicate things with them, because you can easily drive them away. And that's the same thing in a church as a minister. In a ministry, we have to pick the right time to communicate things, because our job as ministers is to win souls, and you can't win souls if you certainly can't win them if you're driving them away, and you certainly can't have a strong marriage if you're driving your spouse away. So we have to learn to communicate in our marriages, and it's very, very important. I'm still learning how to be a communicator, or how to say things, and we all are learning. So this is Pastor Larry. We're going to be signing. We're going to be going more into this, the other keys to a stronger marriage, in our next segment. So stay tuned. If you have any questions, just jot them down in the comments, and we appreciate you. And God bless each and every one of you. And I want to take this moment here to invite you out to our services at New Zion Christian Center. We're located at 15014 Des Plaines Street in Plainfield, Illinois. If you have any questions on the service times, my phone number is listed on our Facebook page of New Zion Christian Center. Our phone number is listed there, so just give us a call, and we would love to see you in the house. This is Pastor Larry. Until we meet again with Let's Talk Marriage. All right.